What's up, people of the internet? My name is Abacab, and a new card was just revealed by the Artifact Twitter, so we're going to take a look at that today and see why it might actually be the worst card in the game. So, the Artifact Twitter just tweeted out this picture of a new card called Arcane Censure. It's a black improvement card that costs 4 mana, and when you cast it on an enemy lane, it gives -1 mana to that lane. So, this effect, gonna be honest, not that strong. Immediately we can compare it to another card, Selimine's Favor. Selimine's Favor is double the effect of Arcane Censure. So I don't really understand why Arcane Censure costs 4 mana. I would have expected it to be maybe like 3, or 2 is probably a little bit too cheap, but like 3 kind of feels like a competitively viable mana cost. But just the thing I don't get about this card is it seems like if you debuff a lane with really low mana, then the opponent's just going to be like, okay, I'll just cast my spells on another lane, you know? Like all those spells, like improvement spells, or spells that we cast in multiple lanes, or spells that affect other lanes like Thunder God's Wrath, just aren't really going to care about this, because they're just going to put their heroes in another lane and get the benefit of casting those spells there. I could sort of see this spell being useful in against like a single lane deck, like a Solar Con deck that just wants to push through through one lane and dominate. That way you can debuff that lane as much as possible, make it really hard for the opponent to do that. But past that, it's just, I can't really see many uses for it. Plus on top of that, the longer the game goes on, the less useful it is. I mean, it's kind of useful on turn 4 because it eats up a mana, but after that, it just gets less and less and less useful, especially if you make it to the very late game when you got like 10 or 11 mana. There's not much of a difference between 10 mana versus 11 mana. And of course, you could stack these cards all in one lane so that one lane has -3 mana, but sure, that's not, like, that'd be good, right? It'd be debuffing a lane with -3 mana would be decent, but is it worth putting these 3 cards in your deck? Because playing Arcane Censure means you're not playing other cards, right? So you're not drawing other cards. So would you rather draw Arcane Censure, or would you rather draw some other card like Pick Off? For me, I feel like I'd probably rather play Pick Off, because Arcane Censure, just the effect is so minor. If it was cheaper, if it was -2 mana instead of -1, I could definitely see it being viable. But what's going on with this card, man? What's going on with this card? It's kind of weak. I don't get it. I've actually been, I stopped recording because I've been sitting here thinking, trying to figure out why would anyone want to play this card? It could be useful in aggressive, no. But that's enough about how bad the card is. Let's talk about the symbol at the bottom. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a symbol that we've never seen before in artifact cards. It looks like kind of like a bull, like a little dude with horns. And typically that's where the rarity symbol are. So there's been a lot of speculation online already about what it could mean. Some people are thinking that it's the set symbol. So whenever there's a new set, there's going to be a symbol at the bottom, and that symbol is going to be the color rarity. It's like bronze, silver, or gold. And I guess that's possible. I wouldn't have expected the first set to have a symbol. I assumed the first set was going to be, you know, the default artifact logo. But hey, maybe it's a set. I also heard someone say maybe that symbol indicates that it comes from another card, right? That you play a card and then like maybe like a death rattle effect. When the minion dies, you get an Arcane Censure in your hand. And in that case, I could kind of see this card being more viable if it's created by some other effect, because as it is, I don't know, it just feels kind of weak. You can't even cast it in other lanes? What the fuck? What is wrong with... So it's a spell, it's not an improvement. So that means it can't be destroyed by things like Pugna's passive. So it's permanent, you can't get rid of it. That's a benefit. But the downside is you have to cast it in your lane. But that means you could run into awkward situations where you have this card in your hand, you got a black hero in your lane, and so you can only cast it in this lane because you don't have black heroes in the other lane. The enemy casts spell, uses all their mana, and then you play Arcane Censure, so it doesn't even come online that turn because the enemy's already cast all their mana. This card seems really, really bad. Oh, am I missing something? I could imagine minus mana being good if it was, you know, there's only one lane, but there's 2 other lanes. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to think of how I could use it. While the effect is decent, I guess. It's just overpriced, and I can't imagine wanting to play this instead of another card in my deck. You don't want it in control decks because control decks like to slow things down, and in the late game, -1 mana is not going to make any difference. It's just too minor. So control decks don't really want to run it. Aggressive decks don't want to run because it's so expensive that they'd rather play other more aggressive, cheaper cards that actually have some sort of meaningful effect, I think. So I don't get it, you guys. I don't get it. This card seems bad. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing something, but just first glance, I would not play this card. I guess the most interesting thing about this is this card teaches us that you can modify towers, which is really interesting. So anyways, I didn't want to make this a really long video. I just wanted to put this out there to let everyone know that this new card has just been released. And let me know what you think about this card. Do you agree with me that it's really underpowered and weak, or do you see a lot of potentials here? And if you do see potential, please tell me, because I'm not seeing it. Help me understand why this card is good, because maybe it is. At first glance, it seems kind of garbage, but who knows? So let me know what you think down in the comments, and if it's good, help me figure it out, man. Please. Thanks for watching. Dabakev out.